Hey, this is Tom from MVP Chess, and welcome to my new series, Best by Test, where I'm going to play live blitz with commentary using Fischer's repertoire. A lot of you who subscribe to the channel after watching my 60 memorable games asked to see me play some games of my own and give my comments, and I'm happy to oblige. So, the nice thing about uh, my repertoire is that it's exactly like Fischer's. I play e4, best by test, of course. I play the Sicilian Najdorf. I play the King's Indian Defense. So, after learning from the best, if you're looking to implement Fischer's repertoire and his opening lines into your own games, then this would be an instructive series for you to watch. So, let's jump into the pool on Lead Chess. These days, I've been playing 5+3. The increment's nice just in case we get a winning position, we can convert it. Okay, so we have d4 on the board. Let's go knight f6. Let's see if our opponent will play the King's Indian Defense. No. So what would Fischer play here? Well, I think he would play d5 because it's the principled move, and maybe go into a QGD type structure. Now, I've studied this line a little bit. We can comfortably meet this move. Do we go c6 here? No, I think bishop e7. Castles c6, and the nice thing is we get c5 in. c6, kicking the knight back, and then c5 is kind of the idea. Wow, a very aggressive move. So let's hit him with c6. Knight comes back. And then play c5. Opponent playing very quickly, very aggressively. So let's improve the position of this knight. On a3, I just have knight c6. I'm not trying to do anything crazy on the king side, okay? Because I want to be able to close down this attack like so with g6. Grind this kingside initiative to a halt, and then look for some sort of strategic break in the center to open up the position against his uncastled king. So first things first, let's challenge this strong knight in the center of the board. Threaten to capture here, put some more pressure on the center. Got to figure out what I want to do with this light squared bishop. So unfortunately for the first game, we didn't get a Najdorf or a King's Indian Defense. We got some boring London type system. Now, I can take comfortably here. Correct me if I'm wrong. There is no bishop takes h7 with check. I may well have an intermezzo of my own. Just trying to calculate a bunch of sacrifices on g6 after knight takes d4. I mean, I do like how the center would be opening. Not sure about that. One thing I could try to do is play queen b6. Same idea, maybe just an improved move order. Let's go for that. Put some pressure here, and then I'm prepared to just take comfortably on d4. I'm not sure this is an opening Fischer ever even faced in his career. d4, bishop f4, or knight c3, the Jobava London system, just wasn't very popular in the 60s, 50s, 60s, and 70s. So not exactly sure how Fischer would have handled it. You could go for a King's Indian setup against this, but with that knight on c3, you're allowing a very quick e4. So I'm pretty confident that Fischer would have played d5 in that position. He did play the Grunfeld, so, even if he went for his classic kingside fianchetto, having a pawn on d5 as opposed to e5 for him was no big deal. Okay. Bit of a surprising move for my opponent. I'm not exactly sure what his plan is. I think I can capture here with impunity. I'm going to call my opponent's bluff here. This is not coming with check. Queen's off the board. Thank you very much. That's exactly what I want, being a pawn up. Okay. Logical. But I thought here maybe I could just rinse and repeat. Queen b4. Put more pressure here. And look at this central pawn phalanx I have. Man, when these get going, e5, e4. I'm threatening d4 here. Yikes. Don't have time to castle. Bang. Like, what are you going to do about that move? a3 trying to like deflect the queen or something. I have pawn takes c3. Winning a tempo on the queen. This just looks over to me. Okay, a pretty desperate move from my opponent. Let's just come here. Because this is going to get the queen trade that I really want. Because 2 points of contact here. You can't keep your attack alive because I'm threatening mate. So I'm going to get the queens off the board. He could do some sort of like desperado thing here. I don't really think that's going to help matters. It's important that I capture here and not allow him to check with the queen. So I'll just play here. Again, threatening mate here. All right. So the queens don't come off exactly, but I do have a really, really strong initiative. We'll check and then maybe do what? Bring the bishop to f6. Or even better, don't forget that the B file is opened up, so this is just an easy checkmate. All right. So in our first game in the series, we face an opening that you will not find in my 60 memorable games, that's for sure. But I do think we played like Fischer. We played best by test. I do think the response D5 is the principal continuation against the Jobava London. Not allowing white to play e4. Opting for this Queen's Gambit decline setup with e6. An opening that Fischer played in his career, for sure, the Queen's Gambit declined. Think about the game in my 60 versus Bertok, where he played the Tartakower defense. I'm pretty sure this is how he would have replied to this opening. So let me just decrease the board to see how he did. Wow. Hello. We'll take it. 96% accuracy, and we got the triple zeros. I love that. So I always like to, on lead chess, is to afterwards go through and learn from your mistakes. You can also do this on chess.com with Game Review, but this is a really instructive way to improve your game. So we'll go learn from your mistakes. No mistakes found for us, but we are able to do this from white side. So this looked like a really crunch moment in the game after I played B takes c6. Got a lot of pressure here. Pressuring this pawn. Pressuring this pawn. White's king is feeling very unsafe in this position. So if I were playing white here, how would I continue? Probably. Yikes, it's actually kind of hard to find a move. Perhaps bishop e5 here. Safeguarding the d4 pawn. And maybe inviting this capture on b2. Maybe. God, I absolutely hate white's position. Okay, they were so aggressive with their h-pawn. And we'll talk about white's play, but they were so aggressive with their h-pawn. I just stayed back with my pawn, stayed flexible. Pushed g6 after h6, and then I just had a free hand in the queen side and in the center. So white wasted a lot of time pushing Harry there. Let's go bishop e5 here. No? Wasn't bad. Okay, knight e2. Yikes, that's a sign that things have really gone wrong. So that makes sense. You're safeguarding d4, and then after queen takes b2, the knight on c3 isn't hanging. So maybe here you can try to gain some activity with rook b1. But after queen takes, obviously black is for choice here. Here's the next critical moment. Castling queenside was a huge mistake. Yeah, because d4 is a big time problem. So what to do here? Perhaps I'm looking at this kind of no, the queen's actually defended. I was thinking back to some Sicilian structures where you have kind of a discovery on this queen. Of course, queen takes d2 would come with check, but my idea was just to come back with a knight. But that's not exactly working. Looks like we just got to get out of this move d4. Get out of the way. Do we play knight e2? That's the best white had in this position. And I have my choice of just going in for queen takes d2. That probably would have been my choice. And I'm just a pawn up with this massive center, safer king. Good to go. And b takes c3 was a big time mistake. Yeah, you got to get the queens off the board. So that's why I was thinking queen takes c3 in this position. And then we're good to go. I hesitated a moment here in the game. I was looking how best to continue bishop f6 or something like that. But obviously, b takes c3 is a huge mistake because it opens the b file for the rook. This is what you want to do in an opposite side's castling position. Both sides are going for pawn storms. You want to open lines towards the king. Notice I just managed to do a much better job than that, than my opponent did. So good game to Ovechimian. Of course, I mispronounced that. But let me know what you think about the series. I want to put some more content out to the channel. This is basically all the time that I have is to do some instructive games like this in one take. Don't really have the time right now to go through another piece of classic chess literature, although that is something, of course, I'd like to do in the future. But let me know in the comments what you think. Should I continue this? Should I not? Hopefully, next game, we get a really instructive game in either the knight or if the king's Indian defense or some sort of e4 opening, which is true to Fischer style. So hope you enjoyed it. See you next time.